Imagine you are falling, not toward the ground, not into water. You are falling toward a planet so massive it could swallow Earth 1,000 times over. And it is pulling you in, slowly at first, almost gently, like it wants you to enjoy the view before it destroys you. You look down, you see the rings, gold, silver, ice catching sunlight like a chandelier built by God. It is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen in your life, and you are going to die inside it. From the outside, Saturn looks like a dream. It looks like something a painter invented after taking a nap in a field. Soft amber clouds layered in ribbons of cream and copper. Rings that catch the sun like the halo of something divine. Every space photograph you've ever seen makes it look peaceful, majestic, still. The Cassini spacecraft spent 13 years orbiting Saturn and sent back images so beautiful that NASA engineers cried looking at them. Scientists cried. Actual grown adults who calculate orbital mechanics for a living, they cried because Saturn is that beautiful. But here's the problem. There is no surface. There is no ground to land on. There is nothing waiting for you down there except layer after layer of a planet that wants to unmake you. Slowly, systematically, completely. Every beautiful thing you see from the outside is a different way you die on the inside. Let's say you're falling. You've entered the upper atmosphere. Right now, the sky around you is still somewhat normal. Thin, cold, a faint amber haze. You're moving fast. Saturn's gravity is 91% stronger than Earth's. You think you know what falling feels like. You don't. This is falling like you've never experienced it. Your stomach doesn't just drop. Your whole body feels like it's being pulled apart at the molecular level by something with infinite patience. The temperature up here is around minus 178 degrees Celsius. That's cold enough to freeze nitrogen. Your lungs would crystallize before you finished screaming. But it gets worse. You are now inside the cloud layer. This is where Saturn starts to show you what it actually is. The winds on Saturn move at 1,800 kilometers per hour. That is 5 times faster than the strongest hurricane ever recorded on Earth. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, the deadliest natural disaster in recorded modern history, was powered by energy that Saturn's atmosphere generates in a single second. These aren't winds you lean into. These are winds that would rip your body apart like wet paper and scatter the pieces across a storm system the size of a continent. There is a hexagonal storm sitting at Saturn's North Pole, a geometric hurricane so large that 4 Earths could fit inside it. Scientists discovered it in the 1980s and still don't fully understand why it's shaped like that. A perfect hexagon in space, spinning for decades with no signs of stopping. And this is where things change, because the deeper you fall, the atmosphere stops being something you move through and starts being something that moves into you. Pressure on Saturn doesn't build the way you're imagining. It doesn't slowly increase until you feel a headache. It compounds. Every kilometer deeper, the weight of everything above you doubles, then doubles again, then again. At a certain depth, maybe an hour into your fall, the pressure is so extreme that the hydrogen gas around you begins to behave like a liquid. You are no longer falling through air. You are falling through a fluid made of hydrogen, and it is pressing against every square centimeter of your body with a force that no material humanity has ever built can survive. The Huygens probe, which landed on Saturn's moon Titan in 2005, survived less than 90 minutes before its system started failing. And Titan doesn't even have Saturn's pressure. That probe, built by some of the best engineers alive, was made specifically for this environment, and it's still lost. You are not a probe, but that's not even the worst part. Deeper. You are still falling. You've been falling for hours now. And here is where Saturn does something that shouldn't exist. The pressure becomes so incomprehensibly intense that hydrogen, the lightest, simplest element in the universe, stops being a gas, stops being a liquid, it becomes something else entirely. Something we call metallic hydrogen, a state of matter so extreme that it can only exist inside planets like this. Metallic hydrogen conducts electricity. It flows like a liquid, but behaves like a metal. It is the reason Saturn has a magnetic field strong enough to affect its moons. And inside that layer, the electromagnetic environment becomes so violent that it would fry every single neuron in your body. Not kill you, fry you. The electrical storms inside this layer make Earth's most powerful lightning bolt look like a candle flame. But here's the problem. We don't actually know what's beyond this. We have theories. We think there might be a rocky core at the center. Small, dense, impossibly hot. Hotter than the surface of the sun, but we aren't sure. Cassini burned up before reaching it. We have never seen the inside of Saturn, not once. No probe has ever survived long enough to send data back from these depths. We are describing your death using math, not observation. You should know something. This whole time, from the moment you entered the atmosphere to the moment the pressure turns you into something unrecognizable, you are still falling. Saturn is so massive, so deep, so cosmically large that your fall would take days, maybe longer. This is not a quick death. This is a slow, escalating, systematic destruction of everything you are. Every layer a new nightmare. Every kilometer a new way your body stops being a body. The cold first, then the wind, then the pressure, then the electricity, then the heat, then the unknown. Saturn does not kill you fast. Saturn processes you. And here's what makes that existentially unbearable. You would be conscious for a significant portion of it. Here is the part that keeps scientists up at night. The part that doesn't have a clean, comfortable answer. Saturn emits more heat than it receives from the sun. Not a little more, almost twice as much. We don't fully understand why. There is something happening in the interior of that planet that we cannot explain, cannot model perfectly, cannot replicate in a lab. Something generating energy in a way that doesn't match our best theories. The universe is full of things we've named and still don't understand. We called it Saturn. We gave it rings and moons and a spot on a star chart. We sent probes. We took photographs. But we still don't know what it's doing in the dark. Here is what your fall into Saturn really means. You were made of star stuff. Carl Sagan said that, and he was right. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your cells. All of it was forged inside dying stars billions of years before Earth existed. You are, quite literally, ancient, cosmic, built by the universe for reasons it never explained. And Saturn would take all of that, every atom you've ever been, and compress it down into something smaller than thought. It would absorb you, fold you into itself. Billions of years from now, when the sun expands and swallows the inner planets and the solar system ends, those atoms that used to be you might still be spinning somewhere inside Saturn's core. Not dead, not alive, just part of something larger than you were ever meant to understand. The universe didn't build Saturn for you to survive it. It didn't build any of this for us. We showed up late, on a fragile rock, with brains just big enough to look up and feel afraid, and small enough to think that fear means something. It doesn't. Saturn was here billions of years before your first breath. It will be here billions of years after your last. And it is gorgeous.